Hello and welcome to the first Running Bear live kitchen. I'm very excited to have you all in my kitchen, and for those of you who haven't met me yet, I am Justine, the Running Bear's sport nutritionist. I did meet some of you Running Bear runners at the question and answer last week, which I loved doing, and as a result of which I've been invited back today to make one of my recipes, the athlete flapjack. We talk long and hard about snacks for athletes and fuel for the body, particularly before we run, before we need all the fuel and the energy. And the abundance of sport bars and various commercial products. I personally, and with athletes I work with, I like to try and make them myself so we know exactly what's going in. We can measure carbohydrate content, protein content, fat content, and all your micronutrients. So this is a super healthy, nutrient dense, healthy flapjack, perfect for athletes, perfect for anyone. We're using it as a pre-exercise snack, but to be honest with you, and as you see as we cook this, it's very similar to some breakfast ingredients that I love with the oats. So you could even get away with this as breakfast on the go. Okay, and it's very, very portable. I'm just waiting for all of you guys to get in and get ready. So I'm hoping by now, most of you that are going to be cooking with me today are prepared and ready to go. The first thing we need to do is switch our ovens on. So it's 325 Fahrenheit, that's around gas mark 3, about 170 Celsius. So we'll put our ovens on. Make sure they're good to go. I don't like a lot of mess in my kitchen, and I'm not one of these people that has a million different utensils. So I've gone for one large saucepan. Hopefully you've all got something around this size, because remember, after we've melted down the butter and the honey or the maple syrup, whichever we're using, we're going to be adding our fruit and our oats to this. So nice big saucepan, straight onto my weighing scales. We don't have to worry about mixing bowls and everything. And we've got 100 grams of butter. I've diced it just to make it quicker to melt, so it doesn't matter if you haven't, just put the whole block in. So 100 grams of butter, and then to that, I've said in the recipe card, we're going to use honey or maple syrup. They're both natural forms of sugar that Mother Nature produces. The alternative, and what you'll find in the processed versions in most of your supermarkets, is the bad stuff, the golden syrup, the agave syrup. Whichever way they word it, it's not great for you, and they usually use it in huge quantities. I'm very lucky, I've put on my recipe card raw honey. I'm actually going to say use any honey or any maple syrup. The benefits of raw honey are they haven't gone through processing. The processing will reduce the antioxidant qualities of and the nutrients of honey. The processing of anything does that. So when we use this without cooking, I will always ask you to have raw honey. It's got great immunity boosting properties, great antioxidant properties. We talked about that in question and answers. It's great for anti-inflammation, general health, boost immunity. We all need that. It's usually this cloudy colour when it's raw as well, and the reasons, amazingly, that the manufacturers processes it is to increase its lifetime. They remove the yeast from it so it can stay on your shelves longer, and lo and behold, to make it transparent and smoother so it's a nicer texture. And would you believe most of them also add sugar to it? So please, please, please have a look carefully. If you see honey with sugar added, put it back and pick a different brand. Okay, so we're going to add equal amounts, so 100 grams of the honey goes straight in, straight on top of the butter, and then all we're going to do is warm these two things through on our hob. Okay, straight over to the hob, medium heat, doesn't take long to melt butter through, particularly if it's already at room temperature, so we don't want it to burn. Keep an eye on it while I talk to you about the fruits we're going to use. I've gone for what I've put on my recipe card, which is pineapple and apple. It's a favourite with the athletes, it's a favourite with my family. They're also perfect fruits to use in this, the high water content. If you're going with different fruits, such as, you know, your raisins, etc., we'll talk later about how we have to replicate some of the water with a fruit juice or reduce the amounts of oats used. But for today, I'm going to go with pineapple and apple. Equally, you guys might be using more seasonal fruits, plums, etc. They're wonderful with almonds to make that Bakewell inspired flapjack. Whilst I get these off here, everybody, I love using a spatula to stir my things around. If you've got a wooden spoon, that's fine as well. So mine's melting down lovely now. Hopefully you're all getting the same results. give that a lovely stir. And just, if you're using nut butter at this stage, this is when we're going to add the nut butter. If you're not using nut butter, and remember it's optional, if there's anybody in the family with allergies or you're not certain, leave it out. It makes no difference to the recipe. It's just about the flavour. So add your nut butter at this stage. This is also great if you're using drier fruits because it's also going to bind. So, and obviously it's full of protein, which is important if you want this as a post recipe, a post snack recipe. Mix all that in for me. When it's all combined, we're going to drop in our fruits. So pineapple and apple for me. Guys, you go with whatever fruits you've chosen. Stir those in for me. And then we're good to add the other ingredients.